We're not ready yet? Okay.
We're good now, he said.
All right, this is the Cuyahoga County Council regular meeting of June the 26th, 2012. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Calling the roll, Mr. Schron,
Here.
Ms. Conwell. Here. Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Rogers is absent. Ms. Simon. Here. Mr. Greenspan. Here. Mr. Miller. Here. Mr. Brady. Present. Mr. Germana. Here. Mr. Gallagher. Here. Ms. Connolly.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to excuse Councilman Rogers.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to excuse Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it, the motion carries. I'd like to rise for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For a moment of silence, I'd like everyone to reflect on their own personal reflections. Item 5, public comment. Is anyone signed in for public comment for anything related to the agenda?
No, Madam President, no one signed in.
All right. Item 6, the approval of the minutes. The minutes of the meeting of June 12, 2012 are in your packet. I assume everyone has had an opportunity to read them. If everyone is satisfied, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of June the 12th.
I'll move it.
Moved by Mr. Greenspan, seconded by Ms. Conwell. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes are adopted. I have just a couple of brief announcements. I'd like to welcome again Ms. Nikki Barnhill, who will be our clerk for the next several months. Ms. Schmatzer is out until early September, and we look forward to working with her. And she's done an admirable job. This is her first time in putting the whole meeting together on her own, and she's done a great job. On Monday, June the 18th, I had an opportunity, along with Mr. Greenspan, to speak at the 200th anniversary of the beginning of the War of 1812. And the 1812 Association presented us a flag, which now flies over the courthouse. It's the 15-star flag. I had anticipated that that flag would be here tonight, but I guess they didn't get it down off the top of the courthouse. But it was a very, very interesting program, and Ohio had a very integral part in the War of 1812, so it was an honor to be a part of that program. And that concludes my remarks. Mr. Fitzgerald?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. I just have a couple things very briefly. One is I just wanted to remind the public and Council, July 2nd is when we have the Cleveland Orchestra and the fireworks downtown, which the county helps co-sponsor it. So I hope that everybody can enjoy that. I also did want to just address for a moment the preliminary numbers that came out when it came to regarding the property valuations that the county released. I wanted the council to know that the process that we are going through, and Wade Steen is here if you have any follow-up questions, but I wanted you to know the process we went through. We're required by state law to provide our estimates of what we think the proper valuation is after we've gone through this process. Now, I also want to note, by the way, that we have saved millions and millions of dollars in terms of the way that we've done that property valuation through that unique kind of hybrid that we have between doing some of it in-house and then contracting out. That experiment in local government was a big success, and Wade can give you the specifics on the numbers, but we did it quicker than the state ever thought we could get it done, and we did it for less money than it has been done in this county for many, many, many years. I have a feeling that it's an innovation that you're going to see duplicated by other jurisdictions because it was such a success. When we got the initial projections for different different municipalities, Wade and his team, and working with the consultants that they have utilized in this process. Also, when they had seen that there had been a noticeable change, they checked those numbers and double checked those numbers. Typically, the way that those numbers would be reported, by the way, is once those numbers would be submitted to the state, then the state goes through their own process of verifying those numbers, and then they release what the actual valuations are. There typically has not been public reporting of that until the state ends up releasing those numbers. These are kind of our pass at evaluating them, or our first take at it. But we did receive public records requests to release that information, which was a public record, at least at the point in time when we had completed it and were ready to transmit it to the state. We did try to communicate with all of the various cities as quickly as we could that information was coming, and that it was, and we wanted them to understand that it was done pursuant to a public records request, and that, in our opinion, in some sense, it is a work in progress, since the state has to go through their own analysis and those numbers may change. But media outlets are free to make their requests, and they're free to report them when they feel that it's appropriate, not necessarily when we would like them to. But we try to communicate with all the various municipalities and let them know that this information was coming. The other thing that we wanted to make sure that we offered to the various municipalities was that they would have the opportunity to sit down with our staff, Wade Steen and his staff, and go over the process that we used in terms of what kind of sales were included and which were excluded. So all of that happened and continues to happen. That being said, and I think we managed the process as well as it could be, it's still, and this dovetails with our conversation earlier about casino revenues, it was still very disappointing news for some municipalities. I mean, you had some places, I think Maple Heights might have had the largest single drop. I think it was over 30%. But you had places like Euclid, 25%. East Cleveland was around 24, 25%. And we want to have a dialogue with these communities. One of the emerging challenges I think we're going to have with these communities is some of them have exhausted their bonding capacity, and they have capital projects that really need to be done, and they do not have the bonding capacity for it. I don't know that we have a solution for it, but I think it's incumbent upon us to really balance two things. One is we don't want to subsidize necessarily municipalities that haven't made wise financial choices. On the other hand, some of these cities, through no fault of their own, have just really been hammered by the meltdown in property values. And we're hoping that we've hit the floor, and there's a good case to be made that we have already hit the floor, and that things are starting to come back up. And there's a number of suburbs that were pleasantly surprised that they didn't have their values erode more. I'd also note that in terms of our own projections of where we were overall, we were basically right on the money in terms of how much we had anticipated and how much you budgeted property values to go down. So that says something, again, I hope, for Wade and his team in terms of their ability to anticipate what's happening. That doesn't mean, because we had anticipated, I think, an overall reduction around 8% or so in that neighborhood, that doesn't mean that it's any easier to bear for those communities that have 3 and 4 times that amount of decrease in their particular cities. So we're going to continue to have this dialogue with the cities and hopefully help them in whatever way is appropriate to get through this difficult period for them. Quickly, there was an article in the paper today that mentioned 10 employees that where we had positions released. We're at about 430 employees fewer than when we took office. That's 430 net, and we are going to be on track, as I've said before, to have 100 fewer employees, positions anyway, for the 2012 calendar year. There are certain departments where we're having to hire folks, and so there is no hiring freeze, but we're looking at the overall numbers, and they're headed in the right direction. One other thing that I just wanted to mention regarding the medical mart, I know they're gone now, but I might have said this to you all before, but there really is a difference in the way that the business community and the medical community in particular is perceiving this project. The conversations, I had 2 meetings with two CEOs from 2 of the largest local medical or biomedical institutions in this part of Ohio, and I had the same conversations or the same subject matter conversations a year ago, and it's 180 degrees different. They are telling me now that they are seeing real signs of life in this project, and Jim Bennett isn't here to hear it. He deserves some of the credit, but the strategy that the council, together with myself, instituted some months ago, where we really wanted to engage all the private sector in helping us figure out how to populate this facility and really make it work, is working. So Council President Connolly sits on that with me, and Councilman Gallagher, and it is really I don't want to too quickly predict success, but the topping out ceremony we had the other day was appropriate because it wasn't just symbolic. There's real substance behind it. So I think there's going to be some good news to come. I don't know what dog signed the beam, or I don't know what that is. I thought, when I heard that, I thought maybe Councilwoman Simon had proposed something else to do with animal rights, but I don't know what that is. But whatever it is, it was still a nice ceremony, and I hope it's symbolic of some more good things to come.
Well,
Thank
every
you.
time when I had a jury trial, I always put my dog's name in the
Oh, so it's
transcript
you
somewhere,
did it.
so this is
Okay.
keeping with the same tradition. All right,
Yep.
thank you, Mr. Fitzgerald. Item 9, reception of reports submitted to council. We had officially proposed a charter amendment by the Common Pleas Court, which is attached to your materials. Since that time, we've had 2 additional proposals from council persons, and although they're not formally printed, copies are available, and I'm willing to accept those now, and they're all going to be referred to committee. So I think Ms. Simon had one first. If you just want to give just a very, very brief overview of yours, and everyone should have a copy of Ms. Simon's proposal.
Thank you, Madam President. I've actually proposing a charter review addressing the county law department and the prosecutor's office with regard to how different powers or civil matters are going to be allocated. So this is something I've been looking at for many months, and you have before you what I think is a fair delineation. I think it's valuable for council to look at.
All right, and that matter would be referred to the Charter Review Committee. And Mr. Schron?
Yes, and I have a proposal for the charter review, which is that we codify the 2-year budget process. The charter calls for a 1-year annual budget, and we were quick to adopt the concept of a 2-year. In practice, I think that we just need to make sure the charter supports that by actual written language, and so that's what my proposal will have.
All right, thank you. Both of these will go to the committee, and we're passing out copies, and there'll be copies available to the public if they're interested.
Madam President?
Yes,
That meeting will be 11 a.m. on July 10th.
and that's going to be another marathon meeting. We start at 11 o'clock, then we have a 1 o'clock, and then we have a 5 o'clock meeting.
Correct.
Okay. All right, item 10, consideration of a motion of council for first reading referral to committee, item 0021.
Motion number 2012-0021, a motion confirming the county executive's appointment of individuals to serve on the District 1 Public Works Integrating Committee of Cuyahoga County and declaring a necessity that this motion become immediately effective. 1, Bonita Tewin, and 2, Stanley Kozaleski.
I don't know how Ms. T1 has time to go to all the committees that she's appointed to, but we're going to refer this to the Human Resource Committee. Consideration of a motion of council for second reading adoption under suspension of the rule. We need a motion to suspend Rule 9 to waive the third reading. Ms. Simon?
President, thank you. I move we suspend the rules.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Simon, seconded by Mr. Gallagher, suspend Rule 9D. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Item 0019.
Motion number 2012-0019, a motion confirming the county executive's appointment of individuals to serve on the Gateway Economic Development Corporation of Greater Cleveland Board of Trustees and declaring a necessity that this motion become immediately effective. 1, William J. Reedy, and 2, Timothy Oftermath.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, been moved and seconded. Any discussion? This matter has gone to the Human Resource Committee.
Yes, Madam Chair, William as well as Mr. Arthur-Math, both were unable to come, but they did send in statements. I believe Mr. Arthur-Math is also the joint representative between the city as well as the county. So the Human Resource and Appointments and Equity Committee will like to ask our colleagues to please confirm them or appoint them.
Okay,
Madam Chair.
yes.
I would also mention by way of history that that Mr. Reedy was the finance director for the city of Cleveland for the couple of years immediately after the city's default and helped steer the city of Cleveland through a very difficult time.
All right, if there's no further discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Congratulations to Mr. Reedy and Mr. Overmat. Item 0020.
Motion number 2012-0020, a motion confirming the county executive's reappointment of Patricia Carey to serve on the Western Reserve Resource Conservation and Development Council and declaring a necessity that this motion become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Shrine, seconded by Ms. Conwell, sorry. Any discussion on this matter? And this matter also went to Ms. Conwell's committee?
Yes, Madam Chair. Ms. Carey was gracious enough to take time out of her busy schedule, and she did make it to the committee and address the committee. She has presently sat on this board before, and so the Human Resources Appointment and Equity Committee would like to ask that we support this appointment.
Any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Congratulations to Ms. Carey. Item 12, consideration of a resolution of council for first reading and adoption and suspension of the rules. It's Rule 12A and 9D. Ms. Simon?
President, I move we suspend the rules.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded to suspend Rule 12A and 9D. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 0120.
Resolution number 2012-0120, a resolution urging the United States Congress and the Ohio General Assembly to fully support, fund, and build a state veterans home in Northeast Ohio and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Mr. Gallagher has been the major sponsor of this, and I call on him to address the subject.
Thank you, Madam President. Actually, this came out of some preliminary research of the council president and myself regarding veterans in Northeast Ohio, and we came to the determination that there are 2 veterans homes in Ohio, one in Sandusky and one outside Cincinnati. And we couldn't figure out why the majority of veterans are in Cuyahoga County, 88,000. It would have to go that far to Sandusky to be serviced. We are horribly underserviced as far as our retired vets. And so we did some research, and we actually used the Veteran Service Commission research to verify that indeed the need of a veterans retirement home for our area would not only be welcome, but absolutely needed. We've contacted many members of the United States Congress and the Ohio General Assembly, and we're asking them also to participate in this resolution and helping us build this for our veterans. It's to me a shame that a state the size of Idaho, with a population pretty much close to Cuyahoga County, has 3 veterans retirement homes, and the state of Ohio has 2. So I think this is a perfect opportunity. Even though we're in a down economy, I think this is a great opportunity for the Congress and DC to move on this, and our friends in Columbus to jump on board once our friends in DC have moved on this, to jump on that train. And certainly the counties involved, which will be all the Northeast Ohio counties, I would anticipate some participation from all of us to provide this service for those in need that served our country. And I thank everyone that jumped on, and in particular the county executive. I don't see a downside to this, and I really think this is something that we really need to push. Thank you.
I think I'd just like to add is that I believe the federal government pays for 60%.
about 66, and I believe the state picks up the rest. There's some talk regarding the counties putting some money towards the help in building this facility. We're not there yet. Certainly, we need to support in DC to start this. Once it gets back to Ohio, if indeed we have support in the capital, that at that point in time, I think it would be important for the counties to get together, go down to Columbus, and express the need from all of us.
Yes, Mr. Miller? I've been moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Any further discussion? Yes, Mr. Germana?
My name?
Add Mr. Germana's name?
And mine.
And Mr. Schrein? And Ms. Conwell? If there's no further discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, this is a wonderful project, and if we can get this going, it really means something to our veterans.
Thank you.
Item 13, consideration of resolution for council for first reading and referral to committee. Item 0121.
Resolution number 2012-0121, a resolution approving the City of Cleveland to retain certain city land bank parcels for devotion to public use as a Southern Service Center for Cleveland Public Power, and declaring a necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the parcels as printed on the agenda, item 13A, 1 through 28.
You don't want to read all those for us?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, this matter will go to finance and budget. Item 0122.
Resolution number 2012-0122, a resolution approving the City of Cleveland to retain certain city land bank parcels for devotion to public use to expand and improve League Park, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the parcels as printed on the agenda, item 13B, 1 through 12.
This matter will go to finance and budget. Item 14, consideration of an ordinance for first reading and referral to committee, item 0017.
Ordinance number 2012-0017, an ordinance establishing a county road maintenance program for the Department of Public Works in order to reinstate the financial responsibility of the county for design, construction, repair, and road resurface maintenance projects for county roads effective March 1st, 2014.
This matter will go to Public Works, but Mr. Greenspan, did you want to be heard on this, or?
No, I'll just defer
Okay.
until the committee meeting.
All right, thank you. Item 15, committee reports and consideration of council for second reading.
Ordinance number 2012-0007, an ordinance establishing and providing for the administration of a Cuyahoga County Educational Assistance Program for county residents for the purposes of increasing the number of skilled workers into the county's workforce, encouraging completion of college degrees among county residents, and enhancing economic development opportunities for the region, and declaring a necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
This matter will be on the agenda for July the 10th. Item 0013.
Ordinance number 2012-0013, an ordinance establishing a Veteran Services Fund to provide workforce development and other assistance to veterans residing in Cuyahoga County, and devoting all unspent monies budgeted each previous fiscal year for the Veteran Services Commission in Cuyahoga County to such a fund.
And this matter will be on for July 10th. Also, we had a lively discussion in the last committee meeting regarding it. Item 16, consideration of an ordinance of council for third reading adoption, item 0008.
Ordinance number 2012-0008, an ordinance amending ordinance number 2011-0019, which established the agency of Inspector General and the responsibilities and duties of said agency, and declaring a necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
Now, this matter is, this matter is on for third reading, and I believe there isn't going to be an amendment.
That's correct, Madam
Okay.
President. I'll make a motion to adopt.
Second.
All right, moved by Mr. Greenspan and seconded by Mr. Schrein. Mr. Greenspan, on your amendment.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. Council should have before them an amendment to the Inspector General ordinance. The ordinance itself and the amendments are so noted in the agenda package. This is an addition to create a new section, and it's new section 2D, little IV, little 4. Basically, what this section does is it delineates the duties and responsibilities of the, and the relationship, I should say, between the Department of Internal Auditing and the Inspector General, so there's no conflict in investigation. This amendment has been vetted, and we work closely with not only our internal auditor, but also with the Inspector General to craft this language, and both are in concurrence as presented. So I will make a motion to amend Ordinance 2012-008 to add the new subsection 2D(4).
Moved by Mr. Greenspan and seconded by Mr. Miller. Yeah, I had an opportunity to read this and work on this also, so this actually just clears up the auditing function because there could have been some conflicts. Since we just got the internal auditor, we just were able to see the problems. I think this definitely straightens it out. All right, any other discussion on the amendment? All those in favor of the amendment indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. The ordinance is so amended. Any discussion on the ordinance as set forth on this amended ordinance? All right, if there's no discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The ordinance is adopted. Item 17, consideration of resolutions for first reading under suspension of rules, Rule 12A and 9D. Ms. Simon?
Madam President, I move we suspend the rules.
Second.
I moved and seconded, moved by Ms. Simon, seconded by Mr. Gallagher. Any discussion on suspension of the rules? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Item 0123.
Resolution number 2012-0123, a resolution amending the 2012-2013 biennial operating budget for 2012 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources for appropriation transfers between budget accounts and for cash transfers between budgetary funds in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Conwell. Any discussion? Mr. Miller?
Madam President, my colleagues, these are routine transfers primarily relating to the appropriation of grants that we've received.
All right, these documents, these amounts were set forth in the packet, and they, everyone had an opportunity to review them. If there's any other discussion regarding them? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Item 0124.
Resolution number 2012-0124, a resolution amending the 2012-2013 biennial operating budget for 2012 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources for appropriation transfers between budget accounts and for cash transfers between budgetary funds in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies, and declaring a necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Moved by Mr. Shrine and seconded by Mr. Miller. This is the appropriation for a specific amount for legal fees for a lawsuit which the county is involved. I said Mr. Lambert is here, and this was discussed earlier. Is there any other discussion about it? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Item 0125.
Resolution number 2012-0125, a resolution authorizing an agreement with State of Ohio Attorney General for collection services of delinquent debt owed to Cuyahoga County Clerk of Courts, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Conwell. This is a project that Mr. Gallagher and I have been working on since actually the beginning of our term regarding the delinquent court costs. And as I'm told, the last amount is due is about $64 million. This agreement with the Attorney General's provides for a collection of some of these court costs going back to 2002. Money will be taken out of people's income tax return. This agreement has been really a lot of work gone into it, and I'd like to thank particularly Mr. Gallagher and Ms. Andrea Rocco, who has really done a great deal of work on behalf of the administration. And, and Trevor, I'm sorry. He's one of those Steelers fans, so it's hard to, sometimes it becomes invisible. In addition, this agreement with the Attorney General, we will also be sending out RFQs for private vendors. We'll be hiring, I believe it's going to be 3 law firms to assist in this project. The money that the Attorney General hopefully will be collecting, we probably won't see the fruition of that for over until the next tax year, because the majority of that money will be coming from income tax returns. If you have anyone interested in the bids, the responses are due by June the 28th at 11 o'clock. Also, as a reminder, if you have some if you have some money that you owe us in court costs, we have an amnesty until July the 13th. You can go to the clerk's office and pay up before we send someone out to hunt you down and collect our money. But I used to lock people up and not let them leave until they paid their court costs. I guess they don't do that in common police court. But we do have some money. Seriously, there's a lot of money outstanding that we need to collect. And the people who have not paid make it more difficult for the rest of us. Trish Larsich, who is an assistant section chief of the revenue recovery for the Attorney General office, is here. Is she here? You want to come up if you have any questions? And I'd ask for your approval and the suspension of the rules so that the county can proceed with the collection of these delinquent accounts.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the council. I'm Trish Lozage. I'm the Assistant Section Chief of the Collections Enforcement Section for Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine. We're very excited about entering into this partnership with the county. I will tell you the program just started. Last July, in the budget bill, the legislature gave us authority to voluntarily work with different political subdivisions. We currently have approximately 25 clients on board for the local government debt portfolio. Of that, we have about 15 close to 16,000 accounts, and we've collected almost 100,000, and this is just since the inception in January. So we're very excited about it. I'm happy to answer any questions or comments anybody may have.
Any questions?
Madam President, will you have authority to file claims, lawsuits, or is it simply collection efforts without getting into litigation?
It would be simply collection efforts at this point without litigation. It will go through different stages. Initially, the claims will be handled in-house by our internal collectors for a period of time. We have certain strategies, and then if it's not collected there, it's either not collected or there's not a voluntary payment plan made. It then can go to our third-party vendors who will continue collections for about a year, and then it can go to our outside special counsel, which, if necessary, we can explore filing lawsuits and doing litigation as well.
Thank you.
Do we have an idea of what the average amount due?
For
Collections, I mean, are they large amounts?
a lot of them, what we've been seeing so far, a lot of clerks of courts that we've entered into agreements with, they're smaller amounts. We had to cap a minimum of $100 because, frankly, anything below that amount is not worth our time to pursue it. A lot of them are smaller dollar amounts. We have had some property taxes we've collected on close to 6 figures. So, I mean, that we've had accounts assigned to us, so.
Is there any way like to put a hold on people's driver's license for this or any other licenses?
I've discussed that with the county. I know some political subdivisions do that. I'm not familiar with the process, but I want to say Bedford. I think the city of Bedford does it, that they will put a hold on a driver's license. I think you have to have warrants out, though.
Yeah, we have warrants, criminal
Correct.
warrants, okay.
Correct.
Okay. All right, anything further? You want to be heard on this, Mr. Fitzgerald?
Sure.
Okay.
I want to give some credit also to the county stat team that we have at Cuyahoga County. One of the very first county stat meetings that we ever had in the new administration in the spring of 2011, we had with the clerk's office, and we were looking for performance measures when it comes to the clerk's office. And actually, I had some experience in the city of Lakewood in terms of amnesty programs and trying to collect delinquent either taxes or court costs. And actually, Madam President, in Lakewood, we used, I think it's called the detour system, but it's for taxes where you do it through the BMV, and you end up restricting people's ability to
Yeah, but see, they
renew
have
their
this, she's right, because
It's
you have
because
the.
there's a warrant out.
Yeah, we
it's
do it in
because
muni
there's a
court too,
warrant.
you get it because you have a warrant, but you don't have a
Correct.
warrant on these companies.
It's extremely, but that is extremely effective. And so we had identified that as an area that we wanted to work on. That's when we set up this task force, the delinquent tax task force, and Wade Steen and the folks in the clerk's office were trying to quantify it. I do really appreciate the council's full partnership on this, and your staff and Andrew Rocco and the great job that they did. I don't think anybody anticipates we're ever going to collect all of this, because some of it is basically uncollectible. But we have to, especially when we're dealing with all of these budgetary challenges I think we have to assure the public that we've turned over every possible stone that we can before we make other financial decisions. I'm very appreciative to the Attorney General's office for having this as an option to us, as opposed to just going straight to a collection agency. It's an affordable way for the county to deal with this. So I'm happy to co-sponsor this, and happy to partner with the county or the council on this matter.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam
Any
President.
further discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Item 18, consideration of resolution for first reading referral to committee, item 0126.
Dale, you're not on.
I'm sorry, Mr. Miller.
I would like my name added to that
Okay,
last item.
add Mr. Miller and Mr. Germana.
You can add my name, Madam President.
Simon? Okay, all right.
Resolution number 2012-0126, a resolution authorizing amendments to agreements and contracts with various providers for the Workforce Investment Act in-school and out-of-school youth training programs for various time periods, to extend the time periods to June 30, 2013, and for additional funds, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendments and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring a necessity for this resolution to become immediately effective for the providers and in the amounts as listed on the agenda, item 18A, 1 and 2.
This matter will go to economic development.
Resolution number 2012-0127, a resolution authorizing an agreement with Village of Glen Willow for participation in the Cuyahoga County Benefits Regionalization Program for the period July 1, 2012 through December 31, 2014, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring a necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This matter will go to human resources.
Resolution number 2012-0128, a resolution amending resolution number 2011-0277, dated September 27, 2011, which made awards on RQ 20292 to various providers for group health care benefits for county employees and their eligible dependents, including medical and pharmacy benefit management services, with Kaiser Foundation Health Plan of Ohio, to change the amount from $26,113,651 to $8,191,200, to change the time period from January 1, 2012 through December 31, 2014, to January 1, 2012 through December 31, 2012, and to change the terms effective May 1, 2012, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendment and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring a necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This matter will go to human resources.
Resolution number 2012-0129, a resolution authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 0900553 with Catholic Charity Services Corporation for comprehensive pre-employment screening services for the Ohio Works First applicants for the period July 1, 2009 through June 30, 2012, to extend the time period to June 30, 2013, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $532,667, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendment and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring a necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This matter will go to health and human services. Item 19, committee reports and consideration of resolution for second reading under suspension of rules, Rule 9D. Ms. Simon?
We suspend the rules.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Simon and seconded by Mr. Gallagher to suspend Rule 9D to waive our third reading. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Rule 9D is suspended. Item 0090.
Resolution number 2012-0090, a resolution authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 0700407 with Halley Industrial Park LLC for the lease of Type 1 warehouse and storage space for use by various county departments for the period April 1, 2007 through March 31, 2012, to extend the time period to March 31, 2015, to change the terms effective April 1, 2012, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,562,552.88. Authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
For a second?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Conwell and seconded by Mr. Schron. This matter was referred to the, to my committee on, Properties Committee, and we had a very lively discussion, had an opportunity to visit this building, considered many, many aspects of it, and this time I support this resolution. We considered many facets of it, but I think in the best interest that we should approve this lease. All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it.
Resolution, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Resolution number 2012-0105, a resolution declaring that public convenience and welfare requires resurfacing of Solon Road from Maple Street to Solon North Corporation Line in the villages of Bentleyville and Chagrin Falls. Total estimated construction cost $1,500,000. Finding that special assessments will neither be levied nor collected to pay for any part of the county's cost of said improvement, and authorizing the county executive to enter into agreements of cooperation with said municipalities in connection with said project.
Move to adopt. Second.
Moved by Mr. Schron and seconded by Mr. Jones. Any discussion on this?
Madam President, these two cities, villages were, the resurfacing project was done under our new pavement policy. It was totally funded by our County Roads and Bridges Fund, and it has saved these cities the potential 10 to 20% that they would have contributed, which amounts to $150,000 to $300,000 savings to these two outer ring suburbs. So we are certainly working hard for our suburban communities.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in
We greatly appreciate that. That's right.
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it.
Resolution number 2012-0106, a resolution declaring that public convenience and welfare requires reconstruction of Pleasant Valley Road from Brecksville Road to Kitchler Lighting Drive in the city of Independence. Total estimated construction cost $2,614,000. Finding that special assessments will neither be levied nor collected to pay for any part of the county's cost of said improvement, and authorizing the county executive to enter into an agreement of cooperation with said municipality in connection with said project.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Schrein and seconded by Mr. Jones. Any discussion on this?
Again,
I just feel like Chuck Germana with two roads on my community, back to back.
When we first got here, every road they did was in Parma, so it's just, you know.
That's why I just felt this euphoric attitude.
and this project also is funded not totally by the County Road and Bridge Fund, but we have sought out dollars through the Ohio Public Works Commission and grant, and again, no dollars contributed by the municipality.
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it.
Resolution number 2012-0109, a resolution establishing County Sewer District Number 3A located in the city of Shaker Heights in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 6117.01 and 6117.03, effective July 1, 2012, authorizing a revenue-generating agreement with said municipality for maintenance of sewerage systems located in said sewer district for the period July 1, 2012 through December 31, 2012. Authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring a necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
It's moved by Mr. Jones, seconded by Mr. Germana. Any discussion?
This is a revenue generating agreement between the county and city of Shaker Heights, and we will be providing sanitary and storm sewer maintenance and repair services for the city. So a one-year term, and it can be renewed annually.
Discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
And Madam President, I'd like my name added to the previous three.
I'd like to add my name to 0109 because Shaker Heights is in my district. Mr. Germana on that one also?
Resolution number 2012-0110, a resolution making a revenue-generating award on RQ 22467 to AVI Food Systems Incorporated for food service operations at the Cuyahoga County Justice Center cafeteria for the period July 1, 2012 through June 30, 2017, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award in this resolution.
Move to adopt.
Seconded by Mr. Germana. Any discussion on this?
Madam President?
Yes.
This item and the next one were heard in the Finance Committee. They're revenue-generating agreements for the two food service locations in the Justice Center.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it.
Resolution number 2012-0111, a resolution making a revenue-generating award on RQ 22321 to DLAJ Incorporated for coffee and limited beverage and food service operations at the Justice Center Galleria for the period July 1, 2012 through June 30, 2017, authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with said award in this resolution.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Schron and seconded by Mr. Miller. Any discussion on this? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it.
Resolution number 2012-0114, a resolution making awards on RQ 23233 to various providers for SAP Human Capital Management Professional Services, authorizing the county executive to execute the contracts and all other documents consistent with said awards in this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective. For one, Sage Group Consulting Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $890,000 for the period July 2, 2012 through July 1, 2014, and two, Unify Solutions Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $110,000 for the period July 2, 2012 to July 1, 2013.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Schron and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Any discussion on this? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it.
Resolution number 2012-0116, a resolution adopting the annual tax budget, including the Cuyahoga County Library budget for the year 2013, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Schron. Is there going to be an amendment to this? All right, Mr. Miller.
Madam President, I would like to move a substitute which has been distributed, and the purpose of the substitute is only to adopt the latest updated numbers at the request of Budget and Management.
All right, so, okay, I'm just looking at the amendment. All right, so been moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Germana. And I'm seeing, so we're just adjusting the correct figures, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
The administration warned us of this when it was in committee. They did not have the final numbers at that time, and rather than hold it in committee, we agreed that they could bring to us a substitute for this reading.
All right, so for 2013, we originally, in the original motion, we had, original resolution, we had $1,453,000. Right, and go in to $1,496,000. Billion, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, any other discussion on that?
Madam President?
Yes.
The tax budget is a formal requirement of the state of of Ohio to provide a preliminary budget for 2013 to justify the need to levy the usual taxes that we levy, and the actual budgeting work is done through our budget process. There's no actual budget decisions being made here.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. I will say that our county library system is one of the best in the nation, and we really have a tremendous asset here with our county library system. All right, item 0117.
Resolution number 2012-0117, a resolution making awards on RQ 22544 to various providers for the Staff Secure Shelter Program and Placement Planning Day Report Services for various time periods, authorizing the county executive to execute the contracts and all other documents consistent with said awards in this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the providers in the amounts as listed on the agenda, item 19I, 1 and 2.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Ms. Simon and seconded by Mr. Jones. Anybody want to be heard on this?
Madam President, this was before our Justice Affairs Committee, and these are some secure shelter program contracts. And the contract with Applewood is something new and interesting, where the kids will get picked up in the morning and spend their day at Applewood, and then go back as sort of a test to see how well they do under that type of limited supervision, supervised but have some latitude. And so we'll see how that works with some funding from the state because of the trend toward keeping youth out of the Department of Youth Services. Just like in our adults system, the money is allocated to find other ways to address these kids. So I recommend passage, and we'll see how this program goes as we watch. I'm hopeful it does well.
Yeah, I was at the committee meeting. I was really impressed. So they pick the kids up at 8 o'clock in the morning. They keep them at 8 o'clock at night. And so we save the cost of housing them overnight. It does really require the cooperation of the parents and the family. But if this works out, it'll be a really good program, and also save the county some money, and also be very beneficial to the youth that are eligible for this program. Any other discussion on this? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it.
Resolution number 2012-0118, a resolution authorizing amendments to contracts with various providers for placement services for the period October 1, 2011 through June 30, 2012 for additional funds, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendments and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring a necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the providers and in the amounts as listed on the agenda, item 19J 1 through 3.
Move approval.
Moved by Mr. Brady and seconded by Mr. Miller. Any discussion on this?
Madam Chairperson, this resolution amends 3 contracts, making additional funds available for 3 placement providers who are providing foster care, residential care, independent living, group home, shelter care, or day treatment services for children under the supervision of the Department of Children and Family Services. My understanding is this is routine for the county to make these additional appropriations. Given the nature of the services, we cannot determine the exact dollar amount in advance, and this is all Health and Human Service dollars.
All right, any other discussion? And all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Do we second? I'm sorry, did we do this?
You go first.
All right. Okay. I thought I had Brady and Miller. All right.
We're good.
Oh, you second your explanation, okay. All right, we're good.
Resolution number 2012-0119, a resolution authorizing and directing the Cuyahoga County Fiscal Officer to make the necessary levy pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 5901.11, and declaring a necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Conwell. This is the levy for the Veteran Service Commission that we're mandated to do under the Ohio Revised Code. Any discussion on this? We had an
Madam
opportunity to
President.
interview the Veteran Service Commission staff, and we had asked a number of questions. Mr. Miller?
Yeah, and Director Slondorm personally came to the Finance Committee, and we had a substantial discussion.
All right, any other discussion? And just want to remind those out in the public, if you are a veteran and you are in need of services, please go to the Veteran Service Commission and make your application. There's money there available, and we'd like to have as many veterans helped as possible. All right, any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Item 20, committee report and consideration of an ordinance for second reading. Item 0016.
Ordinance number 2012-0016, an ordinance providing for adoption of various changes to the Cuyahoga County non-bargaining classification plan and declaring a necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
This matter will be on for July the 10th. Item 21, miscellaneous committee reports. Are there any miscellaneous committee reports? Ms. Conwell?
I'd just like to state that the Human Resources Appointment and Equity Committee will only meet once a month during the summer, so the next date for that committee is July 12th. And the next one in August will be August 23rd, 10 a.m.
All right, anything, any other miscellaneous business?
Yeah, Madam President.
Mr. Greenspan?
Thank you. I apologize. Earlier in the agenda, you asked if I'd have comment on item 14, which will be sent to Public Works, to Councilmember Jones' committee. I just wanted to make a statement that this ordinance dovetails upon the executive's commitment of the moratorium for 2 years and proposes to make that moratorium permanent, and also would shift, if not part, all of the financial responsibility for road maintenance on county roads to the county. My thought process is that if these municipalities struggle in making the commitment to have the roads resurfaced, they're going to struggle to have the roads repaired, and which means we'll be back in a shorter period of time if the roads go unrepaired, bringing them back up to a standard, up to the minimum standard. So that's the purpose for this, and I just wanted to bring that forward and provide that explanation.
Any other miscellaneous business?
Madam President, the Public Works Committee meeting will meet this Thursday, not at 11, but at 10 o'clock, a little earlier, so we can deal with the items referred today and a few items from the previous week.
Is anyone signed in for public comment?
No, Madam President, no one is signed in.
Any other business before we adjourn? Our next meeting will be July 10th. Right, July 10th. All right, if there's no other further business before this council, we stand adjourned.